Welcome to the program. My name is Vince Negro. On Insights today, Denise Bevnick, founder of the Megan Foundation. She'll talk about what made her motivated to start this foundation after her daughter passed away from brain cancer. Megan was inspirational for a lot of people. To this day, the Megan Foundation is an unbelievable organization that brings support, awareness to brain tumors. Denise on the program. Denise, welcome to the program.
Lovely to be here. Lovely to meet you too.
So we've got some mutual friends, and I got a call from a friend of ours, and he said, you got to meet this lady, Denise, who runs this foundation. He was at hugs and kisses and walks and whatever. I said, the Megan Foundation, because I'd heard of the Megan Foundation from the past, as I told you off camera. My daughters and people in my family had knew about the Megan walk and all the association. So your daughter obviously was diagnosed with a brain cancer very young, and you dealt with that. When you were dealing with that, and obviously when you walked out from the doctor's offices and Megan had passed away, what were you feeling at that time? Did you feel that you had to give something back through a foundation and help other folks? What was your feeling at that time?
Absolutely. I had no idea the seriousness of pediatric brain tumors, that it's a #1 cause of cancer-related death in children. I also knew through our own community that embraced us in a time of need, that community and compassion is everything when any child is diagnosed. I also knew that I didn't want any other family to have to go through what we went through. And I knew the power of not having to journey alone. So Megan was first diagnosed in 2000, and we sadly lost her in 2001. The community came together, rallied, and did everything they could to support us at that time. And we went through quite a bit in the short 6 months. I saw the power of compassion and the power of humanity when we gather collectively to help others that are suffering. I also knew the great gift of any child, and that no family should ever have to go through what we did. So when we lost Megan on Father's Day, June 17th, 2001, and when I drove away, I kept thinking about the power of compassion and community and everybody who embraced us. And I thought, while we wait for a cure, the best thing we can give to anyone that suffers, never mind a child, is love and hope and compassion. So I kept dreaming about this hug around the hospital that had treated her. I knew it was a big feat at Sick Kids. Yes, I kept dreaming about this hug at Sick Kids that had treated her. I knew it was a big feat, but I also knew it was the best medicine. I was witness to that in our own community. And so when I went after it downtown Toronto to seek a permit, they, of course, at first in the office that I went to said, do you want a permit to hug a hospital? That's a big feat. You've just lost your child. Maybe you should take a bit of time. And I knew—
That was in the first year that you decided to do this.
It was.
It
was within the first year.
Within the first year.
And I right away gathered people that I knew could help. I knew that the vision I had was 365. It wasn't just an event.
So hugging the hospital.
But just hugging. So the hugging in the hospital was the initial thought that I had. But I knew it was bigger than just that one walk in that day.
Of course.
That it was a year-round initiative. Right. Being a former teacher,
that sounds pretty appealing because, you know, if you think you're having a bad day, you go to Sick Kids.
Yeah.
and you're not having a bad day. And when you leave there, you really
No.
appreciate what happens within those walls.
Yeah.
So that hug
Yes.
component you're talking about,
It's real.
it's real.
Yes. And it does put value on perspective.
Right.
I think everybody stands there. It's hard. People will ask me all the time, if you had to put one word on it: hope, compassion, love. But I say gratitude.
Right.
Many people come who've never known anybody with a
Right.
brain tumor,
Right.
and they leave saying perspective, gratitude. So as I went to apply for the permit,
So you walked in, you try to get a permit.
and they were just, trying
Trying
to
to
figure
realize
it all
in
out.
terms of what your vision was, what you were trying to
They were
talk
trying to
about.
figure it out.
Because most people at the time, someone had gone through what you had gone through, really had no idea kind of what you wanted to do.
No,
Right.
no. And I knew that the families who've lost children needed to celebrate their
Right.
child.
Right.
So what happened was the next day, they actually didn't call me. They showed up at my front door. The lady who was in charge of city permits and head police art officer. And they had tears in their eyes. And they said, when you left, everybody just stopped and thought, we have to help this mother make this happen. And the only day that we could get a permit to shut down the streets and make it happen was Mother's Day. So we all said, serendipity or not. We need to help this lady. So I said, great. And we put our shoulders to the wheel and started in my kitchen with a friend who has done some work in event management, with someone I know who did work in communications, with a principal, because I didn't want it to be just about the children who are sick. I wanted to encourage and empower the healthy kids. Being a former school teacher, the value in what now is our program, Kids Helping Kids.
Right. So that first year, it all came together pretty quickly. Sounds like if they're showing up at your front doorstep, it all came together.
Well,
pretty
you know
quickly.
what? It was like a lot of work in my kitchen and in my living room.
Right.
But I would say 24
Right.
volunteers
Volunteers.
from all different walks of life
Right.
came together. And then what happened was we started hearing from a lot of people
Right.
across Canada, into the States, over in Europe, who were interested, who wanted to help. The letters
Right.
of testimonials became so much that I thought, I've got to move.
So that
to an
movement,
office.
that first year that you created this this feeling, this event, this
Mhm.
one-off, that kind of stuff at the time, you created this momentum that garnished a lot of interest, and a lot of people, whether it's locally or globally, who know a child
Mhm.
or have a child that had the same issues, were able to relate to it. It was something like almost like a comfort, that saying, wow, someone else has been through my feeling.
Mhm.
So that first year, when you completed that event, whatever, did you know you had something there? Did you know that it was something you wanted to continue every year and make it bigger and bigger?
No question.
Yeah.
Oh, no
You
question.
right off the bat.
You know what? I don't mind sharing. I have an uncle who did a lot of work in Toronto, Regent Park, a priest from St. Paul's. And I was thrown out of a car when I was 16, almost died. I had to fight for my life. In a wheelchair, crutches for 2 years. And Tom said to me, they were preparing you back then. This is what you've come to the earth to do, believing that. I don't preach that to anybody, but I knew it was a bigger picture.
The calling. You
felt it.
know, a calling
I
was
felt
there.
that.
You felt
And I believe that we're all here. We may not understand why at the time, but we're all here for a reason.
of course.
And I, the only thing I said I was adamant about, that this, I call it a campaign, a movement,
Right.
we're referred to now, as opposed to an event, a movement of humanity, that I was happy to continue doing it as long as people understood this is not a memorial for
Right.
Regan or not about Denise.
Right.
We're one in the circle. This is about all walks of life,
Right.
all different opportunities to celebrate our children and to support those whose children have been sick.
Right. So Denise, as you were continuing on this journey, year 1, year 2, year 3, obviously it evolved every year, I'm assuming it evolved and it changed, and
Mhm.
you got more notoriety, and people would come to help, and then obviously we come into COVID. There's ups and downs, like
Mhm.
everything else in life. There's
Mhm.
ups and downs.
Mhm.
Obviously, money is always a factor in terms of these things. Aside from awareness, you want to create some funds to help other families, and we can talk a little bit about
Mhm.
what the foundation does
Mhm.
now and what you see in the future. And as this foundation was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, um, um, and the whole Megan walk, it started with the walk, like you
Mhm.
said, the hug and whatever. And now it's evolved to a thing where every Mother's Day, you have the event that happens.
Mhm.
And the event is happening this year. Talk a little bit about the event. What's going to happen this year with the event?
So I call Megan's Hug our signature
Right.
event. It's our one main
So it's
event.
evolved to the hug.
So it started out as Megan's Walk.
Oh,
I said it was the journey
right.
of everyone walking together for their children. But the hug is the essence of what we do.
Right.
Is that spirit? I call it the power of our human spirit. What we really can do when we come together.
It's
And
amazing what a hug does.
it's the best
It
medicine.
really is.
It's the best
Right.
medicine. It's hope, compassion. And so this year, as we're walking into our 24th year, on Saturday, May 10th, the Saturday of Mother's Day weekend, we start at Hotel X.
Right.
There'll be teams from all different walks of life, teams from families who've lost their children, teams from various businesses, various artists, schools, a lot of school communities, all walks of life that walk united. I call it a collective spirit.
Right.
Then when we walk through the
So
city,
it's going to start at Hotel
Hotel
X.
S, we walk through
What
the
time?
city
What time at Hotel X?
um, at 9:30.
9:30. Okay.
Yeah. So the time
And what happens? Is a walk?
find
Or
that out
yep.
is there's
Sure.
different
We'll let our audience know.
So we start at Hotel X in the morning, and then we walk through the city, and we end up at Sick Kids, where we literally do a huge hug around the building. It's beautiful. The families, the nurses and doctors come to the window
Right.
and hold the children up for that healing energy.
Cool.
We have the opportunity to see families from across Canada, down into the States, over in Europe. And I think what we are known for now is an initiative that indeed is 365. We have various community events that run throughout the calendar year. We have been adopted into the Toronto Catholic District School Board
Right.
as one of their
So a lot of
pillars.
affiliates, and a lot of
So
lot of
lots of school
lot of
hubs,
school hubs.
lots of school community initiatives where the kids have a chance to use their community
Right.
hours.
And that weekend, the weekend before, the Thursday, the Friday leading up to the event, do things happen in the schools? Are there some programs that happen in the schools? Can you
Yep.
talk a little bit about that? What happens in the schools?
So our school program hugs, hope,
Right.
understanding, gratitude, and
Right.
support. I call it also kids helping kids. We empower kids to give back,
Right.
to utilize their own gifts and skills to get their community hours. And they'll do dress down days, pizza days. Some have actually hugged their school, which is pretty powerful. I remember a principal standing on top of the roof, looking down, and saying to me, "I never thought, Denise, this would happen."
Right.
There are many students from years ago who were part of this school program who never knew anyone with a brain tumor,
Right.
but they're actually now part of our community.
Right.
A former student runs our school hug
Nice.
program, which is beautiful, right? Says it all. So we're non-denominational. There's
Right.
all sorts of schools in the city that celebrate
Catholic,
Megan's Hug.
public, private.
Absolutely. De La Salle College on Avenue Road, the field there
Yeah.
is filled with the kids when they do their hug. The band plays.
Right.
So Sick Kids
So
is
you end up at Sick Kids.
Sick Kids is the culmination of the whole year of various
Right.
community and school events that celebrate our message. And the one great thing we're known for is all of our funding goes direct to brain tumor research. It's the only brain tumor center now in Canada, and we've been attributed to helping make it number one in the world.
Right. So and it's good you brought up the world. So obviously the foundation has evolved where it's got a global reach now. I know that you are also a big believer with the Association of Music, and I want to talk a little bit about that in terms of how that impacts on kids. It's amazing how music and the hug kind of impacts on
Mhm.
people's feelings. But the global reach that you have now folks from all over. Like there was some you've done with Ukraine. Like
Mhm.
there's some affiliations. Um, Talk a little bit about that and talk a little bit about is the vision of the foundation to eventually have this particular walk hug that happens on Mother's Day happen in other cities globally? Is that one of your visions?
Indeed, it is a global vision, and it's already started because part of our funds go to what's called the Megan Bebenek Fellowship
Right.
Program. So these are, it's not deemed an international program, but it is because doctors from various parts of the world, Brazil, Argentina, Czech Republic, for instance, come and live in our city and they study under our support for a year, some two, and then they go back to their respective countries and hospital, and they know that the hug is turnkey.
Right.
It's a tool in the box, as I call it. It can go to any children's hospital, and they are indeed all waiting for it. It comes down to funding and manpower, of course, but that's already started. We've planted the seed because these doctors are now doing work there
Right.
because of us. Knowing too that my vision is our vision and it's a collective vision. I was adamant that the funds were distributed collectively across the BTRC. So all of the labs there have grown and are now working together because of Megan Bebenek Foundation funding. There are a couple fellows who have actually stayed and are now continue to work in Toronto with sick kids because of us. And I think that collective spirit is not just the impact of people coming together in the hug, but it was the vision of the funding as well, to have a collective vision for all the doctors that are working here in Toronto and globally. Our theme medically is bench to bedside, which is important because what happens at the lab, of course, is then translated into action for the children
Correct.
in the hospital. Um, we have just been, it's hard to put to words when you see one's daughter's name on a bridge, but that bridge is so powerful because it unites the world in brain tumor research to the hospital, to the bedside. And doctors will tell me, Denise, you can't believe what happens on that bridge. The discussions, the breakthroughs, the hugs. And to me, the bridge here in Toronto is the bridge from Toronto to the world for all children. And I think Toronto should be really proud and sick kids of what we have started here that is now having incredible medical and humane impact
Right.
to a point where people are saying, you know, with what's going on in the world right now, Canada, Toronto specifically, Megan Bebenek Foundation has a good news story. There's enough sad news going on out there right now.
Sure.
And that's what happened with Ukraine. When Ukraine was going through and continues to go through their devastating war situation, there were children who needed to be treated, and they couldn't be treated at the hospital there. So one of the doctors here in Toronto felt that we would help them. And they needed some of the kids to come in here to be housed and to have medical treatment. So that was
Right.
incredible because with the children came their
Right.
parents.
So the foundation, aside from personal support that you give to families, whatever, obviously the foundation raises funds and then you distribute funds for research and different people that need the help. I'm assuming globally. Do you have a board that how do you decide where funding goes or how you distribute funds? How do you decide that?
So we have a board, and then we have a few people hired at the operations
Right.
level, communications level, running our office.
Okay.
We have over 60 volunteers that work like they're full-time, very devoted in various teams.
Right.
So we have community events, and we have somebody hired that runs the community events, and then there's people who will help her. We have somebody hired for communications, website design, full-time business
So the
development,
operation is
full-time
getting bigger and bigger all the time.
and so the board works with our myself as founder, president, and with our director of operations. And I would say the greatest gift are the partners, are the sponsors that
Right.
stand beside us, who I've been told firsthand how proud they are, because impact is everything.
Yeah.
It's one thing to do a hug. I could have gone after, this is a number one cause of death and we need checks, and just give the hospital money and the Brain Tumor Research Center. But I knew it was beyond the money. I knew it was the greatest gift while we're on this earth, to support those who are in need and to give back. So the funds we've collected have been able to go there. And of course, we always need sponsors and
course.
partners so that we can bring the vision to what it's being called for, right? Bring it out. So I think the impact is everything. The partners and sponsors are happy to see the impact, and of course proud, and it makes them want to give more.
Right. We talked a little bit about your moving forward vision. Where do you see this foundation in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I hope, my hope is that we do expand globally, because
So you like to see different chapters all over the world.
so I see different hugs all over the world with the other
Right.
children's hospitals. And as I say, many of the hospitals already have the top doctors in brain tumor research working there because of our fellowship program. So the seed's already been planted. They're just waiting. And I see it being an opportunity far beyond Toronto in the arts. I've always encouraged friends of mine. I was lucky to receive a SOCAN Music Award, New Talent Demo Award, back in the early 90s. Music's a passion of mine, and I think that for all of us, anybody that has a gift that they're able to share,
Right.
not and for us to help get louder, to share our story. We've had some incredible galas, musicians who've offered their time: Carly Rae Jepsen, Alana Miles, Kim Stockwood,
Big
Tim
names.
Conti. And they just say, don't thank us, Denise. This is our chance to give back, to offer our gifts to the world, especially to children who should not be suffering at such a young age. Kim from Newfoundland is a dear friend, and we wrote a song, Love is a River, on Spotify now, and all funds go to Megan Bebenek Foundation. And she's an example of somebody who wanted to offer her gifts to give back.
Right.
So we've got an arts program, and it's, I love it. It's really
Yeah.
exciting.
Denise, great. Whatever you're doing is fantastic, and it seems like it's an evolving situation. But if someone's watching the program and is going through it right now, what is the advice you would give someone who's maybe going through something you had gone through in the past?
I don't think anybody needs to deal with such life circumstances alone. And sadly, a lot of families don't know where to turn. And children shouldn't have to heal alone.
Right.
We are all part of a community. And I always encourage people, never be afraid to ask for help. And know that really we are stronger together. There's so much that we can do for those less fortunate when we come together as a collective community. So my advice is I'm doing this so that more families who are going through this don't have to feel alone. We are here for anybody that's suffering with a brain tumor, or there's many people, as I say, who come to the hug with situations known only to themselves,
Right.
alone.
Well, Denise, you've got me as a supporter. I will do the best I can to continue to support. I will support. I have supported through my family in the past. I was nice to meet you.
We are so nice to
And
meet
it's
you.
good that we let people know a little bit more about the foundation, what you've gone through, and where you want to take this foundation. And good luck this coming Mother's Day in terms of the walk. And we'll stay in touch, and we'll have you back at some point. You
No.
can talk a little bit about how the foundation is doing, and we will try to let the folks know where they could continue to support the foundation. And obviously, it started this year, Mother's Day at Hotel X at 9:30. If anybody wants to get involved, they can go
Right.
down there and participate.
It's you can register meganbebanekfoundation.org, and we also have social media
Right.
that one can sign up for. And through the website, you can sign up for the walk and hug on Saturday, May 10th.
Right. Denise, thank you very much for being on the program, and all success. And we hope that the foundation continues to thrive, not only locally but also globally. And what you're doing is very admirable. And thank you for being on the program.
Well, thank you for your support and your kindness. I think what you do to share stories here and elsewhere outside
It's
of the
important.
city is important, and you're doing a wonderful
Yeah,
thing.
and Sick Kids is
So thank
also an unbelievable foundation as well. and
100%.
hospital. So
Beautiful.
thanks for being on the program, Denise.
Thank you very much. I'm honored, humbled.